The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feels so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing? Shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, king of peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light. Tough enough, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feels so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing? Shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, king of peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light.
I only got one thing to say. Where's the babies? Okay. That's it. Oh, also, good morning. What is going on, my beautiful people? It is good to see you tuning in. Today, we are talking about Jayden Spicer, missing kid, 10 years old, out of Jackson, Kentucky. Also, we are talking about Jack and Lily Sullivan. But first, I'm going to need your DNA all over that like button, just in case you go missing in the hills of Tennessee or in the deep woods of Nova Scotia. Dolly is going to come find you with my pack of wild dogs that are barking like crazy. Apparently, they're not concerned where the babies are. They're like, what the hell is this dude screaming about? And now they're barking. Wrangler, Lolo, shh. Good Lord, they think somebody's outside. So, did I tell y'all to like the video yet? Like the video, sub up, all that good stuff. Did I mention that? I am going to strangle these dogs. Anybody want a dog? I got a French bulldog and a Chihuahua. Anybody want them? Anybody want them? I'm giving them away right now to the highest bidder. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. Okay, let me give my warnings. Dolly Vision for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories mixed with a little bit of comedy. So don't take nothing as fact. It's just my opinion, people. Completely satire. So do your own research. All right. We're not taking calls this morning, so don't call the call-in number. I don't take calls early in the morning. And everyone is innocent to proven guilty in the court of law, even you. Okay. And the biggest one of them all, do not try to be Dolly at home. You may not have a bed to sleep in. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding, guys. But what I ain't kidding about is, where are these babies? Okay. Where are they at? We're going to start with Jayden Spicer. It's the most recent case of a missing kid. He's 10 years old, out of Jackson, Kentucky, right? Now, usually when we hear about missing kids, it's always out of Tennessee, like Sebastian Rogers, Summer Wells. A lot of the big ones seem to be coming out of Tennessee. We had Riley Strain that went missing down there in Tennessee. Well, we know what happened to him. But, you know, a lot of cases we tend to cover here on Dolly Vision or Tennessee cases. Well, this one is our first one from Kentucky. And let me tell you, it smells of foul play all day. Okay. Now we got another case. I don't know what it is. Like, we spoke about Dolly Law. And, Dolly Law is just me joking around saying, hey, these people need to be in jail until their kids turn up. When your kid is home with you and you the parent and you're supposed to be taking care of that kid, watching that kid, and they just vanish under your watch and you're like, oh, right? That falls under Dolly Law, and your ass should be in jail until you do know what happened to your kid, or until you at least going, hey, can I come out and help you search? All these kids, right? None of them were really searched for by the parents that they were with. If we look at Jack and Lily, Malaya, the biological mother, never searched for the kids. We're looking at Jayden's mom. She hasn't searched for her kid. She didn't even give a media interview. She wrote a letter to the news. So she didn't even want to talk to the news. She didn't go look. Malaya didn't go look for her kids. Katie Proudfoot didn't go look for her kid. We got all these cases of people that don't even look for their children when they go missing. To me, that is a huge red flag, unless you hate your kid. Okay, unless you hate your kid, then you're like, well, I hate that kid. I ain't looking for him, right? But who hates their children? And if you hate your children, that's probably a big red flag. And if you hate your kids, you probably should give them up to somebody that would love them, unlike these people we're going to be talking about today. Okay, because there's a whole lot of people that should have their ass behind bars, and it's just amazing to me that they're not. I believe his mother's name is Caitlin Gross. Is that what it is? Caitlin Gross, the mother of Jayden Spicer. This woman has a criminal record of abuse on children. Right? And she hadn't even had Jayden long. The stepdad, he has a pretty bad criminal record also. So you got this woman that has charges against kids that could have led to the death of a child. And yet she has this child that she wasn't taking care of. The grandmother had been raising this kid, and the grandmother passed away, which put Jayden back in the care of his mother. It's Felicia. That's right. I don't know where I got Caitlin from. Okay. Felicia. You're absolutely right. It is. Because I remember when I heard it, I was like, bye, Felicia. Right. So it is Felicia. Thank you for helping me out here, guys. What would I do without you? Right. What would I do without you? So Felicia Gross, I think her last name says it all. Any parent that ain't out looking for their kid, ain't trying to bring their kid home, or begging and pleading with people to return their child if it's been kidnapped, is gross. Okay, is definitely gross. Which court allowed this? Joshua Gross. Exactly, Dolly. Okay, her name is Felicia Gross. Yes, that is her name. And she has been charged previously with endangering children that could possibly lead to their death. And now she has a kid that's vanished, and she don't want to be on the news. She don't want to look for her kid. Now you got the community out there searching. You got Equifax out there searching, and no mom and no dad searching for this child. There's a lot of huge red flags in this, and it's so much like the Sebastian Rogers story, of course, in Tennessee, which ain't too far away, where, the kid just goes missing in the middle of the night. And, that would have been August 5th. He was reported missing August 6th, right, by his mother. And now the aunts are coming out, speaking out. Okay. A couple of the aunts spoke out and said, I am new to the channel. Well, welcome. Ice and Fire. Glad to have you here. Some of the aunts are speaking out saying, they don't think this boy would have ran off and went into the woods. And they're suspicious of what is going on with the mother and the stepdad. Now, of course, we fall into the same thing that happened to Jack and Lily. You know, to Zach, pretty much the exact same thing. We got a biological mother that's not looking and a stepdad that don't really give a damn. Okay, but the only difference is these two haven't split up like Malaya and Daniel did. Okay, so a little bit different situation, but kind of the same and a lot closer to Sebastian Rogers. You know, you got the stepdad, you got the biological mother that was at the house with him. So you got two people at this house, and this kid just mysteriously got out the house and wandered off. Last talked to Aunt July 3rd. So you know the aunt, Connie? Welcome to the best channel on YouTube. Well, thank you for saying that. Welcome in, especially if you're new. Thanks for being here with us this morning. We cover a lot of breaking news, missing kids, missing people, usually when there's foul play or Dolly suspects there's foul play. Now, I haven't been wrong once when I say I believe there's foul play. Not that I've been proven wrong anyway, because some of these kids have never turned up. Felicia was stuffing her face at McDonald's instead of searching for her son. Well, what do you expect? It was like, remember during the Sebastian Rogers case, Katie and Chris Proudfoot, they were basically shopping for Harleys instead of being at the prayer vigil for their child. So, you know, here's one thing. You don't look for something when you know where it is. This sounds like this kid wasn't in the best environment, 10 years old. And I still just have this biggest problem with how people could hurt their kid. I'm sorry, Dolly, but if the aunt cared so much, why didn't they try to get custody? I don't believe in it. Something's wrong. Well, listen, you can think, okay, this kid's not in the best environment, but they're not going to unalive the kid. Some people just don't think like that. They think, okay, well, even Seth Rogers knew his child was being abused, and Sebastian wanted to go live with him, but Seth didn't take him out that house. Facts. I mean, he said it himself, right? And everybody loves Seth, but Seth had the opportunity to get Sebastian out that house, and he didn't. He failed Sebastian. He left him in an abusive environment, and now Sebastian is gone. So, I mean, even him, I don't think he thought.
You woke up the kid and now she wants to ride.
Oh,
face farming emoji.
Oh, okay. Well, she's going to have to wait a little bit and I'll give her a ride. Okay. So, I mean, maybe the aunts thought that, this is a bad situation for him, but they didn't think he would come up gone and vanished into the, just disappear, or somebody would actually, maybe unalive him. Okay. Yeah, I done woke up the whole house. Yes, I seen the aunt on the news saying, things were not adding up, and they didn't believe that he ran off into the hills. And that should tell you right there, when your own family is not buying the story that you're telling, something is absolutely wrong. Now, there's not a lot of information to go off of in this story, because unlike a lot of these family members, usually when the kid goes missing, they jump on the internet, they start talking. These people haven't. Okay. They really hush. And to me, that's even a bigger red flag. I'd rather hear your side of the story. So, I can see if you're a relatable person, or if you're sad, or if you're upset, the things we expect to see from the parent of a missing kid. Yes, PJ, I agree with you. The mother should want to be up front and center looking for a baby. thank you for joining. Thanks for being here with us. We're getting really close to hitting 74,000 subscribers. Damn, that is a lot of people. Okay, that is a lot of people. But thanks each and every one of you for being here with me this morning. And this is where I become the bearer of bad news. Okay. Now, statistically, we done been a week and this boy's missing. He's 10 years old. He can't take care of himself. All right. I doubt, just like Jack and Lily. Remember when I said Jack and Lily wasn't in the woods and they searched for weeks and then Jack and Lily wasn't in the woods? I'm telling y'all now, Jayden Spicer is not in the woods. Okay. This is a situation where these parents have done something. They may end up with Dolly on their doorstep. Okay. They may need a little intervention and some why ain't you doing this and why ain't you doing that kind of questions going on. Okay. That's what I'm starting to think. Right? Like, where are you people at? Why ain't you looking for your kid? Now, you got to remember, Jack and Lily's in Canada. I can't get into Canada, but I can damn sure get into Kentucky. Okay? I can damn sure get into Kentucky. And this is just outrageous. This is just outrageous that the police would let something like this go down. I mean, it's always in these rural areas. Right. It's always when these kids don't get found, it's always in these rural areas. If it was a city, I live about 30 minutes from Jackson, Kentucky. Cool. Okay. If it was anywhere close to the city, people always go to jail. Like, look, we had Cody Bigsby here in my state. They never even found Cody. You know where his daddy's sitting? Right in prison, 40 years. They didn't have no body. No witnesses, right? They had one brother that said he seen Cody non-responsive. That was it. That's the only thing they really had on Corey Bigsby, his father, and his ass is in prison for 40 years. Plus, he still got to go to court for child abuse and child neglect, and he's probably going to do more than 40. So they charged him with second-degree murder, and they convicted him in 30 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes the jury was gone and they convicted him. But we look at these cases like Summer Wells. We look at these cases like Sebastian Rogers, Jack and Lily Sullivan. And, you know, these kids are in the middle of nowhere. So there's no real witnesses to what happened. And if there's no witnesses and there's no body, now, state to state is different about convicting without finding a body. Now, if any criminal is smart enough to, you know, do something, usually the hardest people to find are people that are buried. Okay. I watched a documentary on a serial killer. The serial killer told them where he buried the body in these woods. They dug up the whole damn woods and couldn't find the body. And this dude knew every detail of the person. So he killed this person, but they could not find the body. And they were told where the body was at. The general area of the body. They were out there with excavators, just digging and digging and digging. They dug up half the woods and still couldn't find the person. So when you bury somebody, unless it's a fresh grave and you just stumble across it, it's going to be hard to find somebody unless you have a location. You know, even in the Lori Vallow case, they had the fire pit. So they dug up that and they found the bodies, of course. But you got to have some general area, and the grave has to be somewhat fresh, or you're going to have a really hard time finding it. And in both of these situations, you know, this is just my opinion. I have no proof of this. I believe these kids are buried somewhere, just like Summer Wells. And we've heard Don Wells say, hey, Summer Wells is never going to be found. Sebastian Rogers, we heard Chris Proudfoot said people are going to be talking about this case for years, studying this case for years. How did he know that? And how did Don know that nobody would ever find Summer Wells, because these children are buried somewhere. Unless you have ground penetrating radar and you know the location, the chances of finding, even with ground penetrating radar, it's hard to find bodies, especially small bodies. And it's just a sad situation. And like, we need to go back to the days where we can hit people. Summer's on his property. I don't believe Summer's on that property, PJ. I don't believe Summer's on that property. I believe that Candace left that hill twice and she moved Summer. And then after the heat went down, they took Summer somewhere and did whatever they did. I don't believe that that baby's on that property. That property has been searched so much. I mean, it's possible though. You're talking acres of land, and like I said, if you bury something, it is why wouldn't they let us search? I mean, but they searched that. EquiSearch searched it. The police searched it. And I just, so many people say the well and the septic tank. And you remember when Brian Laundrie died and they thought he was in the flower garden? It's one of those type of situations, But I think we need to get back to the time we start hitting people with phone books, okay? So we don't leave bruises, and get these people in there. Guantanamo Bay treatment, right? Like, if you don't pressure people, they ain't going to talk. So these people are walking free, and these kids ain't never going to be found. You put them in jail and you start offering them deals like, listen, you talk now, we're going to give you 20 years instead of 60. And we would find out where these kids are. But it's like, criminals have too many rights. If anything, if your kid is under your care and you're not watching them, that is criminal child neglect. Why are these people not in jail? Okay. If you ain't watching your kid, to me, is criminal child neglect. This mother, Felicia, we should be saying bye, Felicia, right? Because her ass should be in the Kentucky jail. Just like Malaya should be in jail up there in Canada, but the RCMP have failed Jack and Lily completely. These kids have been all around failed. Every case that we've talked about almost in the last 4 years, CPS has been involved. Okay. Or the parents have done something to hurt children in the past. Okay. Candace Wells. You look at Jack and Lily, there were CPS calls before Jack and Lily went missing. There's alleged allegations of Daniel abusing the kids. You look at Sebastian Rogers, CPS calls before Sebastian went missing. It seems to be always the case. Once CPS are involved or intentions are drawn to the abuse on the child, the children tend to disappear. And people are just getting away with it like it's crazy. Okay. Like it's just crazy because there's no witnesses to the crime. Right. That just, what's going to make these people talk? Right. If they're not sitting in jail, there's no pressure on them. When we start seeing people lawyer up that have missing kids, like, you can go talk to a lawyer, but you can't talk to the media. You can't get out there and search. You can't do any of these things. To me, huge red flags, right? Like, what do we do in situations like this? And I think it's enough just to say, well, this lady's already been charged with criminal child neglect, a form of criminal child neglect, where there was a chance that a kid was in so much danger it could have died. Now we got a kid that's vanished. Dolly, maybe you can do some CPR cases to bring awareness. Dolly, maybe you can do some CPR cases. What do you mean by that? What are CPR cases? Just so everyone knows, CPS is only interested in adopting children for the 50 G's. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. There's a lot of kids' lives that have been saved by the CPS. Listen, guys, I'm not going to give the CPS a hard time. The CPS is super overwhelmed. The CPS have failed a lot of kids. That is for sure. All right. And I think it's because there's such a strain on the system because there's so many bad parents. Tons of them. I mean, I see bad parents all the time. Just, well, I don't know if they're bad parenting, but parents, but definitely abusive. I see abusive people. Like I was walking in Walmart the other day and, you know, a lady was screaming at her kid, acting all crazy, snatching on her. And there's a lot of that. You see that a lot. Okay. So, I mean, the CPS they can't destroy every home. So every time they get a call, they can't take a kid. There's a lot of people that use the CPS as a weapon. They'll call the CPS on people. Okay. Make a lot of false claims. And then when CPS has to investigate every single one of them. So while they're out investigating these false claims, there's one kid that's being abused somewhere that they're not investigating. And that's the bad thing is people do that. They'll call the damn CPS on you just for nothing, just to cause you problems and things like that. And I think if you do that and the CPS shows up and there's no signs of abuse and you ain't done nothing to your kid, they should come and arrest the person that has falsely accused you of things like this. Okay. Because, you know, then the CPS opens an investigation on you. They got to go through all these, you know, these things. And it puts a strain onto the CPS. Now, a lot of people talk about, you know, they want to take kids to adopt them out. And I mean, I don't know. That's the conspiracy end of things, right? But we seen Harmony Montgomery, CPS failed Harmony Montgomery. The CPS failed Summer Wells. CPS failed Sebastian Rogers. CPS has probably failed Jayden Spicer. And I don't know what they call CPS in Canada, but apparently they failed Jack and Lily. But there's a lot of good stories from people that have, you know, that were in abusive homes. CPS took them, they got adopted, they lived a great life, you know, it was in a better place. But there are some horror stories. You know, to me, I guess it's like a double-edged sword. Some kids make it through the system, and some kids make it through the system messed up, you know, because they do. There's some of these foster parents out here that they just take these kids, not because they love kids, but they need the money, financial reasons, because they pay you to be a foster parent. CPS in Canada is FCS. Okay, the FCS. You know, some people just do this for financial reasons and they get the kids and they abuse the kids worse than the people that were abusing them in their homes, right? But you can't leave children in places where there's that type of abuse. You just can't. And you think it's this like, well, they fail everybody. No, they probably have 50 million cases that they're working, because the world we live in is full of crazy people that have mental health problems. It's loaded with all types of drugs where people are addicts and have kids and they're not taking care of the kids because they're worried about getting high and things like that. Now, I seen a video clip of the parents, and when they were talking about J.D. Vance, you know, apparently he spent his summers in Jackson, Kentucky, which is, you know, of course, our vice president under Donald Trump. So they were on the news talking about living so close to J.D. Vance, and they didn't look like horrible, terrible people. But let me tell you something. You cannot judge a book by its cover. You just can't, right? You can look like a good person and really just be a monster. We see that on the internet. There's some people up here that look like good people, and they're just horrible pieces of dirt. Okay. So when I seen him, I was like, okay, you don't look like a terrible person, but that don't mean you're not, right? And it's just like the guy the other night that I was covering a case and he unalived his girlfriend. I was like, he didn't even look like a crazy guy, but he was. And well, rest in peace to his girlfriend. Not so much him. He died too. Karma got him. It's like karma will come back and get you. It like, I don't know why karma hasn't gotten these people yet, right? Because listen, everything I ever done wrong in this world, or even slightly messed up, karma has got me so good for it, right? Like I get it for everything. But these people that do these horrible, horrible, unforgivable things, it's like they never get their karma, right? Or I don't see it, right? We got people like, you know, what was it, Chris and Katie? They're at Disney World this year, right? Why didn't they take that money from Disney World and put it to search for the kid? You know, it's like they didn't want a little boy that had mental health problems. They wanted a little girl. You know, it goes back to Leilani. She didn't like her baby daddy, so she threw the baby in the trash. There's some type of disconnect in this world with people and their kids. And I guarantee you that's what this situation with Jayden is a disconnect. She never had this kid. The grandma did. The grandma raised this kid. And so when she got this kid, she didn't have that connection. That's just truly what I believe. And when I look at a lot of these cases, there's some type of disconnect. That's why they don't care, right? And they don't, a lot of these people ain't even trying to hide it, you know? Well, they'll get on social media and be like, oh, I love my kid, but you do nothing for your child. You know, actions speak louder than words. And a lot of these people, like this woman, we're not even hearing a whisper from. Like, if you didn't neglect your child when he was alive, you're definitely neglecting him now. Okay. By not searching, by not looking, by not caring. To me, that is neglect. So if you're going to neglect him now when he's missing, it just tells me that you neglected him when he wasn't missing. And, you know, we're seeing all these kids beat on, and it's a horrible situation. I say lock her and the stepdad up and tell them both. The first one to talk is the first one to walk. And I guarantee you, we would know where Jayden Spicer is. Same thing with Jack and Lily Sullivan. Lock both of them up. Tell them first one to talk is the first one to walk. And we would know where Jack and Lily was. If you locked up Katie and Chris and you said first one to talk, first one to walk, we would know where Sebastian Rogers was. If you locked up Don and you locked up Candace and you told them the first one to talk is the first one to walk, we would know where Summer Wells was. It's crazy that you're more likely to be unalived by somebody that's supposed to love and care for you than you are a complete stranger. But so many people want to blame it on strangers, but the odds are strangers didn't do it. There's greater odds that you did it. So you're already in favor of we looking at you first, and then your behavior just don't add up. Okay? It's strange. And like the Jack and Lily story, inconsistent statements. Now it's going to be harder to get this in Jayden's story because there's no statements. And the statement that was wrote to the news is like a 3-year-old wrote it in crayon. Okay, so we're not dealing with the brightest people here. All right. Nothing against country folks. I'm from the country, right? From Georgia. But we dealing with some slow people. And I mean slow, like slow. I have no faith in the police when it comes to missing kid cases anymore. I just don't. Is Jayden autistic? That I don't know. The parents ain't said nothing. They won't talk. It's hard to know anything about a kid that you don't personally know, that when the parents just shut up and don't say nothing, don't do nothing. No. I don't even know if they're smart enough to get on the internet. Did you see the letter? Did you see the letter? Right? They I think it takes a little intelligence to log on. You got to put a passcode on your stuff usually, or you can just hit the power button. I mean, that takes a little bit of intelligence to, like, you know, to hook up your Wi-Fi. I just don't see that in this story, right? I just don't. Like, I look at them like, oh, this is what happens when you drop out in the second grade. Okay. What's your, you know, when people ask you what's your highest level of education, and they're like, elementary school, like, it just, you know, I get it. Sometimes when you live out in the country, you put education on the back burner because you got to work, you got to survive. And I mean, I get it. I get why some people are not very educated. Survival's the most important. I get it. So if you ain't the brightest tool in the shed, I can understand it. I ain't the brightest person myself, right? Now I'm a genius. I'm borderline crazy, partly genius, right? I don't know which one's more. I think I'm more crazy than genius. Okay. What do we do with people like this, right? You know me, I say lock them up, throw away the key. And people be like, well, what if they're innocent, Dolly? What if they're innocent? Because there's always somebody, no matter what case it is, that always believe that I'm picking on the parents. Now, listen, there's a lot of kids missing in this country, and I never say nothing about their parents. Only time I say things about parents is when I truly believe there's foul play. I'm just not out here bashing parents of missing kids, right? There's kids that are missing that are not under strange circumstances. But this case is not one of them. This case is under really bizarre circumstances because of their past and their behavior. And I think I'm starting to become an expert on people's behavior. I've been, you know, just studying it more and more of what is the norm and what is unexpected behavior, right? Because everybody says, well, people, Dolly, deal with grief differently. And I get it. You know, some people cry, some people don't. But there's a level of normal. Okay. Even if you ain't crying, why ain't you searching? Why ain't you giving interviews? Right? I ain't saying that you got to bawl out and cry. Some people don't like to cry on TV. I'm one of those people. Stuff makes me sad, and I try to hold my tears back on some of these things that we talk about. I get it. Some people don't want to get out in front of the world bawling out crying. Okay. But to do nothing, to me, is really odd behavior. And that's not normal. That's not normal behavior. It's a lack of compassion is what it is. It's just a total lack of compassion. And like I said, lock them up. Lock all these people up. And even with Daniel and Malaya, I'm jumping back and forth between the kids that are missing. And, you know, I'm touching in on a little bit of all these kids this morning because I believe all of them are important and they all have similar things. All of them. Has anybody else noticed that? They all have similarities. All the cases have similarities of these missing kids. Lock up exactly. I don't know what laws need to change. And I mean, we're dealing with Canada, so I don't really even know the laws in Canada. But I'm just talking about here in the States. We need to do something to protect our kids. And when I say our kids, I mean kids in general. I don't mean my kid personally. I mean, when I say our kids, you know, it takes a village to raise a kid. These kids are our kids. Okay. These kids are the future type saying, you know what I'm saying? Not that I'm the father of every kid in America. I hope not. I ain't paying child support even when I am. Okay. But we need to do something to protect these children or parents. will see this right now, and somebody's probably watching going, yeah, I've been wanting to unalive. I don't want this kid anymore. You know what I'm saying? And then they're going to do something to hurt their kid. I don't think we set good examples in this country. Your Casey Anthony's, you know what I'm saying? And people see this and go, oh, well, she got famous and, well, infamous, right? But everybody sees a household name. Who in here don't know who Casey Anthony is? Okay, this woman became a household name for not giving a shit about her kid. Ain't that crazy? I had to work for people to know who Dolly is, right? It's hard with a face like this. But this lady, all she had to do is not give a damn about her kid, and everybody in the country knows who she is. Helena, I like to get a seat on the Blessed Express, please.
Get a seat on the Blessed Express, please. Great conductor, hugging face emoji.
Thank you, Helena. Thank you for that. You are on the Blessed Express with us. Listen, you ain't blessed unless you ride in the Express. Okay. Now PJ's blessed, not me. I'm still in the hoopty, but she's chugging along pretty nicely. Okay, pretty nicely. I feel like I'm going to puke. Listen, a lot of these cases are so upsetting. It like, and it's just one after another, right? I could see if it was one every 5 years. But I mean, it's one every month. There's a new case just like this, or at least every 2 months. In Jayden, this is the crazy thing. He's not getting no attention, right? No attention. Jack and Lily got more attention than Jayden, and they ain't even from this country. I don't get how the media weighs these kids out. Like, to me, a kid is a kid, right? Like, if I go past the park, every kid in that park is important. How do they pick who and choose who they give attention to? And then this kid is just left in the dark. And I mean, the same thing for YouTubers, right? Like, if somebody hits me up and says, Dolly, this kid's missing, I usually talk about that kid. Okay. Just like Giovanni that was found in the, what is them damn mud puddles called? Retention pond. Okay. Retention pond, 18 years old, just found, mother, heartbroken. You know, usually when people tell me about these stories or I see them on the news, that's what I talk about. If I don't know about it, I can't talk about it. Okay. And there's so many of them, you know, but I don't pick and choose. I just go by what I see or what I hear. But the media itself, they kind of pick and choose what they run with. Like, I haven't heard any big people talking about, well, no, there's big YouTubers. There's a couple big YouTubers. JLR was talking about this boy. But far as like mainstream media or anything, mainstream media has not really picked it up. And there's not, and I understand why, because there ain't not much to go off of, right? And the police, if we don't have nothing to go off of, the police don't have anything else to go off of. But here's my thing on these missing kids. As soon as a kid goes missing, they shouldn't treat it like a runaway situation. They should treat it like a crime scene. Okay? A kid goes missing, especially 10 and under. Now, what you do with teenagers, that's a little bit different to me, because teenagers do run away. They do take off. They do go stay with their friends. They're usually found or recovered shortly after they're gone. So I don't say we treat all teenagers like it's a crime, okay, and barricade the house and start spraying luminol and teenagers missing, right? Still would be good plan, to be honest, but 10 and under, where a child cannot take care of themselves on their own, I think every time they go missing, that house should be immediately treated as a crime scene. Instantly. People out the house. This house has to be processed. I don't care where you go, where you stay. Go look for your kids while we're doing it. Okay? And that luminol, plaster off, checking for blood, checking for signs of foul play. What's up, Scotland? Good to see you. Glad you could be here with us. And I'll read some of your comments in just a minute. Let me finish ranting and raving about what I'm thinking this morning. And if you did this, Robert, thank you for subbing up. We're getting close, Robert, to 74,000. So thank you so much for being here with us. Glad to have you. And if you're out there watching, guys, there's like over 1,000 of you here. Make sure you hit the like button. Okay. I don't know why I had to say that shit so many times. It drives me crazy. And I know it drives y'all crazy, right? So do me a favor. Take 1 second. It's free this week only. This week only. I forgot what I was going to say. Like the video. Okay. Like the video. And then once you do, I want you to shout out where you're watching from. But let's at least get it to 1,000 likes. Then I'll shut up, right? So if we ain't 1,000 likes, just hit the like button. How many likes we at now? How old is this little boy? This little boy is 10 years old. Jack and Lily, of course, 4 and 6, right? Between the two of them, they ain't even 16. So it's heartbreaking is what it is. And to see that there's so many kids out here that don't really stand a chance or nobody cares about, right? And I'm not us. I mean, like the families, like they're with families that don't care about them. We got Alabama in the house. Thank you. Texas in the house. New Jersey's in the house. Missouri. PA's in the house with us. Hills of Tennessee. Don't go missing. Texas, Australia. Randy, thank you. Thank you for joining up. You know, the last couple people have been guys that have subbed the channel. You know, statistically, 85% of our viewers are women, 35 and up. Okay. We don't got a whole lot of young people here on this channel. I wish more young people were into missing people and stuff like true crime. But they're too much into TikTok videos of whales eating people. Does anybody know if that orca really ate that girl? I've been watching TikTok videos today. Somehow I got stuck on TikTok because my daughter posted a video. So I went to watch the video my daughter posted. And then I started watching this videos about this orca eating the trainer. And then I didn't know if it was real because we got AI videos. And then I seen another video of the orca trainer saying the videos are fake. I'm alive. But I don't know if the lady's alive or she's dead and the orca ate her. Okay. Has anybody seen that? So the AI videos are terrible because you don't know what's real anymore. Like PJ showed me a video the other night of some deers jumping on a trampoline. Okay. And I was like, the deers jump on trampolines? I've never seen that like that. I didn't know if it was real or not. I was like, okay, the deers are living their best life, right? And then she showed me some raccoons and some rabbits all jumping on a trampoline. I was like, okay, this shit is fake. So, I mean, it's a weird one when you can't tell in this world what is real and what ain't. You know the old saying, don't believe nothing you hear and only half of what you see. You can't believe nothing you hear now and nothing you see. You can't even believe it. You got to ask yourself, is that real? I told you it was all fake. I know. That's what I'm saying. The AI makes videos so real looking that you can't even tell what's real or what's fake. Can you imagine what it's going to be like in 20 years? It just blows my mind. It's like you can make anything. You hate AI. I like AI for certain things. You know, if you have a question, or it's the video making of AI that trips me out. Like I'm like, because you can basically take a photo of you and make a video of where you're breaking the law, and now there's a video of you breaking the law on the internet. You see what I'm saying? That is like, and then people believe it and all these things, and like they don't know if it's real or fake. Like me, I don't know if the damn woman got ate by the orca or not. I'm still curious. I might have to Google it. Did the lady get eaten by the orca? So, but what I do know is real is these kids are missing, right? I know that's real, and they need some justice. My parents used to tell me the same thing. Thank Obama for allowing news to lie. Well, it ain't even so much the news. It's just the internet. Okay. The internet. I mean, I listen, I'm going to be honest with you about the whole news thing. As a kid, as a young man, I thought the news had to tell you the truth. I truly did. I didn't know the news could just have an agenda and just lie to you. I didn't, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was so much controlled by the CIA either. These days, I don't watch the news unless it has something to do with what I'm interested in. Like, I just don't watch the news because it don't matter if, like, I don't want to go political here, but if you're on the right or you're on the left, both people are pushing an agenda on you. They want you to believe a certain thing, right? So they push their narrative. It ain't just news, it's news with a narrative. So I don't tend to watch the news too much. Now, as far as missing people, I watch missing people on the news, or if there's like some huge something going on in the world, then I'll watch the news. Or if I'm sharing a story and we're broadcasting the news, I'll watch the news. But I can't think of one time that I walked in the house and was like, well, let me turn on the news. I usually sit down, I'm turning on Netflix. I'm trying to watch something enjoyable because the news has become a cesspool of just horrible shit. It's always bad. How often do you turn on the news and it's something good? I mean, sometimes you hear a good story on the news, right? Something happy where somebody's being uplifted or it's something good. And then the other 98% of it's just the most horrible stuff: murders, rapes, forest fires, crashes, plane crashes. So, and then, we see this stuff every day, and then people come desensitized to it. Like, that's why people, instead of when somebody's in trouble and need help, they quick to pull out their phone and videotape it instead of helping you. People are glued to their phones constantly. Now, I ain't one of those people. I use my phone and I use it when I need it. And if I'm super bored, I'll flip through my phone. But I don't walk around with my damn phone strapped to me. Okay, like just constantly in the phone. I just ain't one of those people. I want to experience the real world a little bit. Now, sometimes everybody needs to escape the world, get a little escape, take your mind off of things. I get it. But people are just glued to the internet, social media. All right. Now, what is phone addiction is real? Yeah, PJ got it. PJ is stuck on her phone. I tell her to put her phone down so much. Put your phone down. We're doing this. Stop. Put the phone down. Experience a little bit of life. I'm addicted to YouTube. Well, I'm not so much addicted to watching YouTube as I am being on YouTube, because this is where I get to be social, because more or less I'm a pretty, believe it or not, I talk to thousands of people here on the internet. But when I'm in my day-to-day just regular life, I don't talk to hardly anybody. PJ, the kids, I'm not a real let me start a conversation with you kind of person. I can talk to anybody if need be, but usually I'm a lot more quiet. Like PJ tells me all the time, you talk to the internet more than you talk to me, because time I talk for 4 hours, I'm tired of talking. So now I just want to chill, right? So she's trying to hold a conversation with me. I just talk for 4 hours. I want to sit back and, eat some popcorn and watch Netflix. So, what does it look like to not have phone addiction? Well, I mean, like I said, I use my phone. I'm not addicted to the phone. If if you took my phone away, the only thing I keep my phone 100% on me all the time for is if my kid calls or PJ call, right? And a lot of times it's dead. I don't even charge it hardly. Or if yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I keep it just in case Tiff calls, or if like I said, if I'm super bored, I'll flip through Facebook and check my messages. That's basically it. But I still use it, limited time on that phone. So, because I believe that social media has made people unsocial, right? People Facebook you a message instead of coming to see you. I grew up in an era where you had to go to see your friends. You had to go knock on their door. But hey, man, what you up to? How you been? What you doing? What you doing? Or call them. The whole texting thing is made even me. It's made me more unsocial than it has made me social. And it seems like we're all connected, but we're kind of farther apart, right? Because instead of seeing somebody, you're just like, and I know that social media is in fact wrong, yet I know I'm addicted. Shake my head. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that are, it's one of those things like anything else. If moderation, everything in moderation, I guess, would be the whole thing. So, but we need to lock some people up. Back on topic, I got a little squirrel there, a little squirrel. Car swerved off the road, but we need to bring some justice to these kids. Some people need to go to jail. I can't believe people are not at these people's houses screaming, raising hell. The community, not YouTubers, but the community itself. That's one thing Savannah had, right? Savannah, their community stood up for Quentin Simon. They were raising hell. Leilani was going to jail. Them people were nuts. What was that Boatwright lady? I don't know if anybody followed me in Georgia. Oh my God, there were some crazy ass people at the Leilani Simon house. It was nuts, right? It was just nuts. But I had to say this. What was her name? Wanda Boatwright? Was it Wanda? No, what made it Wanda? What was her name? Anybody remember the Boatwright girl in Georgia? Was it Wanda Boatwright? I can't remember. Her last name was Boatwright. It was Wanda. Okay, that girl was nuts. It was Rhonda. Okay, not Wanda. Rhonda Boatwright. That girl was crazy. Okay, she's like, I called 2 psychics. The hotline. I've searched more than anybody. F you YouTubers. That lady was nuts, right? But you need stuff like that. Where's your Rhonda Boatwright in Kentucky? Right? Screaming at the house, talking about you need to be in jail. You need that. Canada needs one. Kentucky needs one. What about Michael Vaughn? That's a different story, right? That's a whole different story because Tyler and Brandy, Neil, well, Vaughn, they're all Vaughns now. They don't have nothing to do with it. So why would you can't really camp out in front of their house because they ain't got nothing to do with it. Now, if you was trying to camp out in front of Stacey Wander's house, I think they're in jail for unrelated charges right now. So I don't even think they're free. It's a totally different situation in the Michael Vaughn case, right? But these cases of these parents that have allegedly, possibly scream of foul play, done something to their kids, I don't see why people are not confronting these people in the communities, right? When they go shopping or like somebody said that Felicia was stuffing her face at Mickey D's. You couldn't walk into Mickey D's around me and me not say nothing to you. You just couldn't. If I was sitting in a restaurant and Chris or Katie walked in, or Daniel and Malaya, or any of them, let me get in distance of them. I guarantee you Dolly got some shit to say. I don't see how people let them get a free pass. The community, right? The community is who should be putting the pressure on them. That's why I said Canada, for all my people that are, you know, covering the Jack and Lily story. And did anybody see Daniel's dad go off?
Hello from Maryland from my brother's pup Bandit.
Hello from your brother's pup Bandit? What the hell? Welcome. I don't know what I had to do. From my brother's pup Bandit. The pup is saying hello. Okay, we'll tell you, pup. I said hello. I speak French Bulldog and Chihuahua barely. They don't even listen to me most of the time. But tell Bandit I said hey. Give him a good rub for me, fur babies. What was I about to say? I forgot. That threw me off so bad. Dolly, why do you think the mom isn't talking? Okay, that's a good question, Stacy. Because she's responsible for the disappearance of her kid. That's why. I mean, simple answer. I mean, I ain't scared to say it. That's just my opinion. Do I have proof of that? Nah. But I don't think it takes a genius to know. Oh, and what I was saying for my Canadian people in the Jack and Lily, I just remembered, is you guys need to put some pressure on the RCMP, right? You need to razzle dazzle them, right? You need to razzle dazzle the RCMP, put a little heat on them, stir the pot a little bit. Because if you don't, this case will never get solved. Oh, and I was saying, did anybody see Daniel's dad snap at the social media guy that I think he's the same guy that did the horse trailer. I'm not positive. But his dad was out there screaming and cussing, talking about, you one of those YouTubers. Right? Why everybody hate YouTubers? Yes, you seen that? Why are they worried about people covering the case? Right? Definitely same guy. Okay. Why are they worried about that? Right? Why not worry about the children? Why not worry about searching? You know, and then the dad has the nerve to look at the guy and be like, are you the dude that took those kids? I hate to tell you, bro, your son and Malaya are responsible for them kids missing. He hates YouTubers. He said, yeah, you can hate YouTubers all you want, but YouTubers didn't kidnap your kids. Okay. YouTubers are the only ones bringing light to these missing kids. Mainstream media, not even covering it anymore. Thank you so much. I don't know how to say your name. I ain't even going to murder it, but thank you for your donation from Canada. All right. I see the CA. Thank you guys for being here with us. Canada. You got to put some pressure on the RCMP. I need you guys. I can't be in Canada. I don't have a passport, and they probably won't let me in the damn country anyway because I got a criminal record. Nothing bad, just a couple assault charges because I'm postal. A little crazy, but I'm a good crazy, right? Just don't mess with me. I got a short fuse, just like the rest of me short, okay? I'm like a little firecracker. So I need you guys in Canada to raise some hell. Okay. You need to raise some Dolly. You need to be Rhonda Boatwright. Like I was saying, the crazy girl, everybody needs them people. Right. And then she wasn't the only one. There was a whole bunch of them. Right. Georgia had all the crazy people. I mean, you just crazy just was coming out the woodwork. Right. But I think that was needed. It put so much pressure for them to make that arrest. They were going to make the arrest anyway, but at the time, we didn't know that. Okay. So I gave the police a little bit of a hard time. Not as hard as that crazy lady did. But I had zero faith in the authorities. And believe it or not, Chief Hadley down there in Savannah did a great job. Okay. He did. He found the baby. He got his conviction. To me, that's a great job. Well, partial remains. They found part of Quentin Simon. You know, and I've learned from that to give it a little bit of time. right? Be a little more patient, give it a little more time, and see what happens. Now there's almost so much time I can give it, right? Jack and Lily's had their time and nothing. You know, Sebastian Rogers had his time and nothing. So to me, the police have failed these people. The police didn't fail Quentin Simon. They didn't fail him. They searched the most dirtiest, nastiest landfill they could every day in the Georgia heat, and then they found something. I just wish they would police departments would put the same type of energy into all these missing kids, and that don't appear to be the case. You know, some places are better than other. Okay, now I'm done with my rant. Oh, what else was there? Speeding car. Neighbor heard a speeding car in the Jack and Lily case, a 5-speed. How do they know it was a 5-speed, not a 6-speed? How do they know it was a 4-speed? Did they hear the gears change 5 times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many times have you heard a car drive by you and you count the gears? Anybody ever do that? Not me. Okay, I could give a damn less, right? I mean, so basically, they heard a car revving up and down in the driveway. Why is this just coming out months later? Don't you think that would have been important at the time that the kids went missing? And are these people that are neighbors, or are they just friends with, you know, all these people in this little rural area seem like they're buddies, like they're all like Durwood. I just think there's so much misinformation and pointing the fingers away from the people that are involved to take the blame off of Daniel and Malaya. Morning, Dolly. Good morning. The parents don't search for their children or scream out every place possible they are guilty of something. Truth and Justice 7.0. I'm on the same page as you. The landfill is only 25 minutes away from their home. Where I live, all the sounds of the vehicles on my road. Behind. So this may not make sense, but people look for their car keys harder than they look for their kids. Here's my thing I always say. You will never find something you're not looking for. Right? Like every time I'm missing something, it don't fall out of the sky and land on my lap. There it is. Okay. Thank you, Jesus. No, I got to get up. I got to search, check the couch cushions, look around, and try to find what I'm looking for. Nothing just magically appears.
Madalena Kojakari MC, I'd be forever grateful for you to show her flyer to your audience. See, one day parents didn't report her for 3 weeks. Crying face emoji, broken heart emoji.
Lurker, that is horrible. It just shoot it over to my Facebook or my email, and I'll show it. I'm about to, you see how we got this picture here? It's about to start flipping through pictures of missing people. That's how I had it before. But people kind of like, you gonna give me a seizure, Dolly? So I used to have everything flashing and moving, and I don't know if y'all noticed, but nothing's moving, nothing's flashing, because I don't know. People get a little triggered over things moving, or people be epileptic and things like that. So I kind of calmed everything down on the page. It used to flash and do all kinds of, the news thing used to flip and had like a line, and it was just too much moving around at once. So, but I did like it when it showed all the missing people. Like it just flipped through pictures beside me, and it was just like whatever children were missing. And you know, because we were in Walmart the other night, and I was looking at all the missing kids, and thank God for the Center for Lost and Missing Exploited Children. All right. I think what they do is a great thing. Shout out John Walsh. It was a lot of teenagers on the board, and I was surprised because usually it's a lot of small kids, and these were more like 15, 16-year-old kids. And and my hope is,
Harry Dobson and Bandit are in the house too. Hey, bro.
Okay, Bandit. Well, let's see what this says. Bandit are in the house too. Hey, bro. Hey, Breezy. Good to see you. And I was kind of glad it wasn't a bunch of small kids up there because when I see older kids missing, I think they ran away. Right? They probably just ran away, but that ain't always the case. But that was my hope when I looked and it wasn't no small kids. I was like, that's good. But of course, teenagers missing if they're not ran away, that's bad. It's just as bad, But young kids are so innocent, right? And my biggest concern always is children under the age of 10. Like I tell people all the time, I don't talk about or look for runaway kids. You got a runaway kid, you need a PI. Right? You need something like that. Somebody to look for that handles missing kids. I cover foul play. So if you look like you did it, I'll search for your kid. But if it don't appear you've done anything to your kid and your kid just hates your guts and left, I mean, they go through these emo stages where they don't like anybody, right? Some kids at different ages, some kids as early, but I think most kids go through that phase where they can't stand their damn parents for a little bit anyway. Then they grow right out of it. Dolly, is there any more pictures of Jayden? I have seizures and certain lights I can't deal with. See, that's what I mean. That's why I took away a lot of the flash and stuff like that on my channel, is because people were saying, hey, it's, it takes away their concentration from, I guess, staring at my ugly ass. I don't know. But I'm going to make it slow, to where this picture slowly changes. It won't be like fast flipping through them. It'll be like every 3 minutes or so, it'll flip to another missing kid. And like I said, I like to do it like that because it kind of reminds me of the milk carton or the signs that they have at Walmart. And there just ain't much of that anymore to get these kids' pictures out there. So I'm going to be working on, getting the picture size to fit beside me like this, because I size all these pictures. So they're thumbnail size. So everything has to be thumbnail size to fit right. So I'll have to go through all the pictures of the missing kids, the top missing kids, and resize them. And then at the end, I'm thinking about doing a little breakdown to let everybody know, say when it pops up at the end, hey, this is, or I'll do one video and say, hey, this is so and so, they're missing from here, that like that. It'll just be pre-shot and done, and I'll just do it like I do my commercial. So it explains who all the kids are, where they're missing from, all that. Because I think the best thing we can do here as YouTubers is bring awareness to it, right? As far as solving them, ain't too many. I mean, YouTubers have solved some things, but for the most part, I just think our best thing that we can bring is awareness, and I think that's a good thing, right? Mate, you're flashy enough. Okay, well, thank you. I am wearing some bright orange like a damn street cone today. Okay. I could stand in the street and nobody would run me over. They found Giovanni's body, the 18-year-old boy. Yes, and the police have cleared the cousins. They spoke with the cousins and checked their vehicle. It don't seem to be any signs of foul play in the vehicle. But this is one of those things where you got to learn from. So basically, speak to your kids, even if they're 18, 19, 20 years old, about the dangers of drugs. Even me, I tell people all the time, and listen, I smoked for years. I would never want to see young people do that, right? When you get up to an age that you're a responsible adult and there's certain places, but just getting things off the street or at a gas station. No, 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 no. That is horrible, and nobody thinks that's going to happen when they're doing it, but it does, and we see that. So don't never just be like, oh, it's just a little bit of smoke. There's a lot of dangers to it now, and even the stuff that is legal is different than it used to be. Like, it comes with way more anxiety, way more paranoia. Like, and I am exactly almost 1 year clean. Yes. Okay. And it wasn't that hard because I was getting to the point that I was, it wasn't good for me. Like, I wasn't having good experiences from it, So in that Giovanni case, we got to learn that, hey, like, I know some people may be smokers, and you do you, but just make sure that don't get shit just off the street from anybody, and be careful what you consume. There's so much bad stuff in this world these days, and I don't want to see anybody, nothing bad happen to anybody, and definitely for kids. I remember I was in high school, and no, I was in junior high. I was in junior high school, and there was a young man that went in the bathroom. He smoked some shit they called creeper back in the day, right? And he flipped out. Okay.
Gotta love that, Dolly. Red heart emoji. You keep it real. 100 emoji.
And I at that time I didn't really know too much about smoking. I didn't smoke in high school. I started smoking after high school. Well, right at the end. And he flipped out in the bathroom, and he was balled up next to one of the urinals in the bathroom, crying and like screaming and shit. Right, he's freaking out. So of course they called the police and the fire department, and the ambulance. I cannot even say that word right. PJ's always like, there's no lamp. Okay. Ambulance. So, and apparently he smoked some like, I don't know. It just, it affects people differently. And he wigged out in school and was screaming and crying, and he was a big guy too for junior high. He was like 6'2" in junior high school, but he was balled up like a baby in the bathroom from whatever he smoked. And that was way back then. So I mean, like I said, it affects people differently. Upchurch fan says, good morning, Dolly and PJ. Good morning to you, Upchurch fan. I haven't sat down and watched no Upchurch. I watched a little bit, like clips. I haven't watched them in a little bit. Hit Shallow Nowhere. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know nothing about that type of stuff in junior high school. I was more I think junior high school I was probably chasing girls. I wasn't doing illegal substance. I didn't drink in high school. I didn't drink, smoke, none of that. All through school. Afterwards, I went a little wild for a little while, but during school, I kept my mind basically on school. You're a unicorn, Jimmy, in a YouTube full of donkeys. Well, thank you. You should quit with your lung issues. I encourage you. I breathe better, but the medicine I take, one of the side effects is shortness of breath. So every now and then I'll get a little shortness of breath, but for the most part, I breathe a lot better. I feel better. My anxiety is not as bad. I don't know if I'm as creative. I think that's, one of those things. I'm not as creative, but I'm still creative, just not as creative and not as focused, on things. So, but other than that, I mean, I feel better. That's the important thing. And it's, and so many people say, well, it ain't bad for you. That's not true. That's definitely not true. Is any type of smoking. I don't care if you smoke a cigar or the sticky icky or whatever you smoke, you are still smoking. And it ain't good for you. It's not good for your lungs. So you quit smoking regular cigarettes in April. My breathing has improved 100. Yeah, it takes a little while, right? It takes a little while, to cough all that stuff up out your lungs, and but yeah, in the long run, you'll feel better. You quit smoking by vaping. Usually when I quit things, like I've been trying to quit soda, it's hard. Soda's hard. I even tried a Coke Zero last night. They're nasty. All right. I'm just trying to cut down the sugar. It ain't caffeine I'm worried about. It's sugar. I'm trying to cut out the sugar. So I tried to drink a Coke Zero, and I'd rather drink. I'm drinking a Snapple right now, but it's all natural. It's see, all natural. It says it on the bottle. It's watermelon lemonade, but I'm trying to cut out most of the sugar, and so I've been doing pretty good. And then I was just thinking last night, well, let me just try one of these Coke Zeros just for, something caffeinated. I'm so used to drinking Coke. And I was just like, ugh! I can't do it. Does anybody in here drink Coke Zero? Anybody? Anybody do that? Have you tried Soda Stream? No, I haven't. I can't do fake sugar. It's worse than sugar also. All natural ingredients. I try to tell you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I like artificial sweeteners whatsoever. Jimmy, your story about your friend yesterday eating the paper was one of the girls' name Leslie. No, definitely not Leslie. Diet Pepsi caffeine free. It ain't the caffeine, like I said, it ain't caffeine I'm trying to quit. It's the sugar I'm trying to cut out. I consumed a lot of sugar. So in the last week, I haven't drank. Have I drank any soda? No, I drank one tea. Okay. I drank one tea, which had sugar in it. So, but, and I looked at that like, okay, this is just a treat instead of just, I'm going to drink tea constantly. So I've been trying. I love Coke Zero. Do you? Okay. Well, there you go, Purple Raven. I ain't a big Coke Zero fan, but I mean, could I get used to it? Possibly, but they say the artificial sweeteners cause cancer. So, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I just, I just think when you take out sugar, it boosts your metabolism. Well, I think what it is your body is burning all that sugar and it's not burning fat. And I'm a little heavy than I eat. I ain't fat, okay, but I'm getting a little thicker, and I weighed myself.
Extract is good. It's a real plant.
I weighed myself and I was 190 pounds. And I usually walk around like 155, 160 pounds. So I was like, damn, I'm up like 30 pounds. So I was like, right then, I was like, okay, it's just soda. It's just drinking all it. Because I don't eat a lot. I truly don't. I usually will eat maybe once or twice a day. A bowl of cereal in the morning and then around 5 or 6 o'clock, I'm starving, and then I eat, and then I'm good, right? But I like to snack at nighttime too, especially when I'm watching Netflix. It's the devil, right? I'll be watching Netflix. I want a candy bar. I want some chips. I just like to snack. So I was like, okay, I got to do something because, I'm 190 pounds. That's a little heavy for me. And I don't need to be carrying no extra weight. So I cut out soda the first week and I weighed myself and I was 191 pounds. I gained a pound. And I was like, wow, grateful, thank you, right? I was like, how the hell did I gain a pound? I ain't drank soda in over a week, but I had just ate, right? So I weighed myself the next day and I was 188 pounds. So I had lost 2 pounds, which it don't sound like a lot, but it's 2 pounds. I ain't 190 pounds anymore. I'm 188. So I just got to continue on that path and try to eat less. There was a couple nights I had to eat a little Ben and Jerry's, right? I just raged out. And I know I went way off topic, but I just figured I'd share that with y'all. So, I'm trying to lose a few pounds. Okay. So if y'all see me looking all skinny, I'm not on drugs. Okay. I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight. All right. So if you're like, damn, Dolly, what are you, for some reason, like people, if you lose weight, people think you're on drugs. All right. Helena, thank you so much for gifting the 5 memberships. And if you got one from Helena, make sure that you give her a big virtual hug. You need to walk, Dolly. Shit. I do. I'm walking to the refrigerator to get some cookies. But as far as I'm going, I want to be down to 160. Okay. Right. That's about my natural weight. Now, I'm not trying to get skinny. I'm just trying to get down to about my natural weight. I don't want to lose like body mass, but I'm going to get me a gym membership here coming up soon. Right. I had to rest for a while and take it easy because I'm scared to, because I had that heart attack. So I don't want to over push anything. So slowly get back to where I was. Right. And I don't know if some of the medicine is making me carry a little bit of weight. But I think it's eating. I've been eating pretty good, right? So I'm going to cut back a little bit, cut out the soda, start exercising a little bit. And usually when I exercise, I drop a lot of weight. I mean, and it's usually pretty quick. So just to prepare you that I'm not under the influence of anything. I'm trying to lose a few pounds. I heard that Olipop was good. I don't know. Gyms are great. I lack motivation. I'm lazy. Okay, I've gotten lazy. I don't know how, but I did. Do you go for a walk today? Am I going to go for a walk today? No. I'm probably going to take Ava to her grandma's. She wants to go over there. So, and then I'm going to bed. That's it. I'm going to sleep most of the day. I just came up here to chop it up with you guys for a little bit. And I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep good last night. I don't think I slept at all, really. I kind of tossed and turned. I watched UFO stuff, and usually UFO stuff puts me to bed. It'll put me to sleep. It kind of bores me, and I go, all right. I watch it every night. Every night I watch stuff on UFOs. I don't know why. I don't give 2 damns about UFOs. But it's enough to bore me to sleep, right? Because if my mind is thinking about something, I can't sleep that good. And my kid's going to be over here later. And, I'm thinking about opening a store. Okay. So I got to make some calls today about this location that I want to get. So Dolly Soap is actually going to have, hopefully, if everything goes right, if the prices are right and I can make this work, I'm going to open a store in our local mall. Okay. So I'm thinking about it anyway. It's in the thought process. Can we make this happen? It's really chancy, right? Because I don't want to just sell soap, right? That I make. Y'all should buy, okay? Buy dollysoap.com. But I want to bring it to the locals, right? So you tell everybody everything. I mean, I'm just telling you my thought process. This ain't happened yet, okay? This ain't happened yet. But I'm in the process of seeing if I can make it happen, okay? So I don't want to just sell soap. I want to sell a little bit of everything. T-shirts, because the store is pretty good size. So, and I got to have enough product to pay the rent, make money, it's one of those adventures, and I don't want to lose. I don't like to lose at anything I do ever. Okay. I'm just a winner. That's all I do is win, 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 no matter what. So I don't like to take L's. So I got to make sure everything perfectly aligns up, that there is some money that can be made and payroll can be paid and rent can be paid. And I may open this store. Okay. Oh, you know where? Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe. I ain't telling you what mall. I mean, I'll tell you guys if it opens, but I'm in the process of just trying to find a location. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I might have talked too much. Hello? Yes, yes. Okay. Okay, I will. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, peace. Love you. All right, so what PJ was saying was, not that I talk too much, but there's some back orders that are out that she hasn't got to yet. So if you have an order and you haven't got it, PJ said we're a little behind on her shipping the orders out. She's going to hook you up with some other stuff. Okay. So you'll get something extra with your order because it's taking a minute to get it. All right. And you got to remember, guys, be patient with us. We make everything here in house. I do. So you got to be patient. Right. So, but we're still pushing our last inventory of soaps and lotions and stuff like that out. So there's a couple big shirts that I got to print. I know they're 4Xs. So if you got a 4X shirt out, I got to get to those. I got to order the shirts. I didn't have them in stock. So be patient and we're going to get your orders out to you. Okay. So with that said, like I said, I'm thinking about opening a store that's going to focus mostly on my soaps and stuff like that. And, but we're going to carry a bunch of other stuff. And the problem with the store is inventory. Okay. I will be there in like 45 minutes. Okay. So the big problem is inventory, to get all the stuff for the store. And so it's going to have to grow slowly. And I don't plan on keeping the store open, but maybe a year, 2 tops, because I believe the location that I'm getting is going to shut down. All right. So that's why right now I can get a good price on the place. Right. So I think I'm only going to be a storefront business for a year or 2, small, short period of time. What did that say? PJ, have you got any strawberry or vanilla smelling soap? All you got to do is go to buydollysoap.com, and everything we have in stock is right there. Hold on, I'm getting a call. Hello? Okay. All right, I'll do that now. I'll get ready. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Peace. Okay, guys, I got to get ready to go. I forgot. Tiffany's going to be here in 45 minutes. I got to run Ava to her grandma's house. I got to put Wrangler in the kennel. So I got a few things that I got to get ready to do. But I will see you guys tonight around, I don't know, 10 o'clock, something like that, for my true crime show. Thank you guys for hanging out with me this morning. And let's see. Have a great day, Dolly. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Oh, and when I open my store, we're going to be adding more things to our merch store where you'll be able to order offline. So everything that we have in our store, like physical store, you will be able to order up here. And we're going to be doing like earrings, necklaces, whole bunch of different things. So you'll see if it all happens. I don't know yet. Like I said, it's still in the creation process. So we will have a ton more merchandise that we'll be selling on our merch store. Basically everything that we have in the physical store. And we're going to be selling, like the store is going to sell all kinds of stuff. So be on the lookout for that if it happens. Now, if it don't happen, we'll continue to have our online store for everybody to order our products anyway. But if we can get a good deal on this spot, we're thinking about, like I said, opening a spot. And yeah. All right. Peace.